Next is the 11th Doctor, played by Matt Smith. This is actually my personal favorite Doctor, just a little fun fact there. I have the 11th as a rock gnome. He is constantly inventing. He's all about creation and curiosity and story and inventing, which is why I also have him as a Battlesmith Artificer. I chose Battlesmith somewhat because of the pun. I thought it was kind of funny, Matt Smith, Battlesmith. Stupid joke, I know, but roll with me here. But he is constantly tinkering with and putting things together and messing with, the Cyberman head, or messing around with the circuitry of the TARDIS, all these different things. He is what I would consider probably the most curious and inventive Doctor. And I have him as the entertainer background. A big part of Matt Smith's run is story. Creating these stories, these large, elaborate tales. Becoming legend, exploring legends, things like that. It's such a big part of him that I think it's only fair that he does have that entertainer background. And finally, we have Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor. I have the 12th as a Drakenblood Dragonborn. He is incredibly smart, but he also has that very kind of rough, almost stoic nature to him at times that is very fitting for what I have the image of a Dragonborn in my head. I have him as a clockwork sorcerer, clockwork soul. The whole thing with him is relearning who he is as the Doctor. He's trying to figure it out, and there's a big focus, at least at the start, of why he chose the face he did. The face is known to him, and he's trying to figure out why and figure out what that has to do with being the Doctor. And so there's a big time aspect there. And I have him as a hermit background. Of all four of them, he's the one who really goes off on his own the most, at least from how I remember his story. He spends the most time on his own figuring things out, exploring on his own, things like that. And so the Hermit was pretty fitting for that, I think. Like I said, the Doctors were probably the hardest set I've done to date. It took me a lot longer with them than it did any other set I've done. But it was also probably the most fun to dive into. Because like I said, they could all technically be the same results. But trying to dive into their differences and what that could mean for them was really fun to do. And a really good kind of experiment and test for this series.